Hey there, it's Marianne from Thrive Admin Services, and in this video I'm going to introduce you to one of the functions or formulas inside Microsoft Excel. We're going to look at count, and this is one that will help you to get a really quick snapshot of the number of cells that have data in them and a couple of different ways that you can check that information. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start with what the count function is. It's a really core functional formula in Microsoft Excel, and it allows you to count the number of cells in a particular range that you select that contains numerical value. So it's filtering out anything that is not a number and just returning and saying, yes, there are this many that have numbers. So let's say, for example, you've got some sales information, some sales data, and you want to know how many of your sales were over $1,000. That's where the count function is helpful. Or we're going to do an example here where we've got some students' names, and then we've got some numbers next to them about how many assessment pieces they've submitted now. Or this could be it's a 1 for a pass on their exam and nothing if they haven't, so they get a 1 when they've passed the exam. So let's treat it as though it's the exam result, and we're trying to figure out how many students in the class have passed the exam. So of our 15 students, these are the ones with the 1 next to them have passed the exam and are complete. So to calculate how many we have, we can choose a cell outside of the group, and we into that cell we type equals to open our function box, and then we type the word count. You can do it in capitals or lowercase, it doesn't matter. And it will automatically drop down and start showing you some options that fit with this. So we're going to go count. And you can see it's now telling me what I need to do. And it's opened it up in here, or I can continue typing here. Now I can manually go in and I can type each one and hit the comma button, and I can work my way through. But this, when you've got a lot of data, can be a really complicated way to do it. So the quicker way is to simply, once you've got your open brackets, which is where you're choosing the data you want it to read, you hold it at the first section and we just drag it down to the end. So that's for all of those. And you can see it's now saying B1 to B15. And we close brackets to end our calculation and say that's the data I want you to look at, and hit enter. And you can see here I've got 7 students. Now I'm going to show you a workaround to actually sort of double check it, which is great if you're a little bit cynical or that you just don't trust yourself. So if I go back in now and I select, just by holding down the control key or command if you're on a Mac, and I'm just going to select the individual cells that have the 1 in them, which tell me that that is correct and they have passed. And you'll see down here at the bottom of my screen, we've got some extra information here, and it's got numerical count and count 7. So it matches here. Okay, so this is a sort of a running track record that it's keeping for me in the baseline of Microsoft Excel. As an example as well, if we decided, oh, actually, no, Bob hasn't got it, and I put 0 in, it will hold 7 because 0 is still technically a number. So if I remove that, it becomes 6. And we might say, oh, Jane didn't get it either, Mark didn't, but Georgia, Michelle, and Sally have. So 7 is still my total, even though the people or the, if I was to interrogate that data more, the data has changed, but the overall count of successful exam results is now the same. So, and count is quite handy. As I said, it's great for this sort of thing where you're looking at exam results, or you're looking to see who has an exam result recorded. You might also use it to count the number of items in a list that meet some certain criteria. So all of the red items in a stock, or all of the items under a particular code. You might have items that have barcodes and items that don't. You want to know how many items in your inventory have barcodes if they're a number system. And whether a range of cells contains the correct number of values, for example, that all 12 months are represented across a data set. So there are lots of different ways. It's a core function, and there are some levels that you would move into from count. So count is your base function, and then there are some, what would we call them, add-ons. So there's count if, count a, count blank, and that adds extra conditions around them. But today I wanted to give you a very simple understanding of what count is. So there you have it, a really quick introduction to the count function in Microsoft Excel. If you're working with large data sets that contain some text and some numbers and you need to be able to pull the information out of that, then count is a really good place to start. If you found this tutorial helpful and you'd like more, then make sure that you subscribe to Thrive's YouTube channel. If you have any questions about the content or you would like to know more about using functions like this, then please get in touch. You can find me hanging out on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Just search for Thrive Admin Services, or you can get in touch directly by popping a comment on the video and I will respond directly. Have a great day.